Whether someone gives it to you or you buy it for yourself, a one-way ticket out of town can, in some cases, mean the end of one life and the beginning of a new one. In our guest case, this was the start of something great. Landing in London, the light turned green and he was off. I'm Susan Schwartz, your drinking companion, and this is Lush Life Podcast. Every week, we are inspired to live life one cocktail at a time by everyone in this industry. I met Tomáš Čistý when I was invited to interview the participants of a cocktail competition last year. The cocktail he created blew the judges away. After a ride on the roller coaster of his life, as he calls it, he is now on the brake run, slowing down before another double dip might appear ahead. He's now settled as bar manager of the private club 12 Hay Hill in London and brand ambassador of Wrecking Coast Distillery in Cornwall, and loving it. Before we begin, you can find links on how to donate to some of your favorite bars or have cocktails delivered right to your door during this rough time on the homepage of my website, alushlifemanual.com. Now, let's get locked in and ready to go with Tomáš.
I was born and raised in Prague, Czech Republic. When I was really little, I was really suffering with a hay fever and with asthma actually in the time as well. And so I always spend my birthday in the hospital. So let's start like really sad, because like all my story is like really big roller coaster. So just get ready for that ups and down. So no worries. It always end up well and it always end up really good. So don't worry. Yeah. So I was suffering with these diseases or dysfunctions. So my parents made me to go to learn how to swim, because there was basically only one thing which I could do, or like one sport or like one activity. I just started to swim even before school when I was 5 years old. It happened that it was a big part of my life in the end. So I was pretty good at it. I got some talent. I made it in the swimming team in Prague, and I was pretty good. I was 3-time junior champion in Czech Republic. I was swimming butterfly, 100 to 100 meters. So I have lots of the sport background. Primary school was regular, absolutely normal.
So did you think that you were going to be a professional swimmer? I mean, like Olympics and train until then?
I was dreaming for that. Definitely, yes. I had the hopes and I was working really hard for that. So definitely, yes. My father a little bit see himself in me. So he put lots of effort in it, and God bless him for everything what he did for me. Because since my 8 years old, it was every single day waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was jumping in the water at 6 o'clock. So it was lots of sacrifice from my family. So thanks for that, and it was just amazing. But how I was swimming from really young age, I saw that kind of like going to work. So I haven't seen that like something special. I just found it like I'm just going to swim, and I'm working out like crazy, but like it's just part of my life. I haven't seen that it is something special until I was older.
Mm-hmm. And so did you think that, I saw that you studied physical education.
Yes, that's true.
What did you think your future would be before getting into the bar industry?
Well, so on the primary school, I haven't really seen the way to go. So in that time was really popular everything about the computers. So I actually started studying IT, but I found it third year that I will never be good at it. So I kind of back up from that, finished at high school, and then start with a Charles University physical education, and it helped the swimming again a lot. And yeah, and basically when I got to the university without any payment, any exams, because I was just really good at the swimming. So that helped me in the education through all my life as well.
Mm-hmm. So when did you first find yourself in a bar? I mean, you're from the Czech Republic, so obviously you were drinking beer.
I wasn't actually.
No way! You're the first, the first ever.
It's that I'm coming back again to the swimming because it was just such a big part of my life, and I was I was swimming for 15 years, spending almost 30 hours a week in the water. So I almost got it on the professional career. So all my childhood was without alcohol, without and basically my teenage years were without any rebellion or anything. So I was strictly just into the swimming. So I had no chance to enjoy these kind of things. So I start a bit later when I was finishing my third year in the uni. I took the part-time job in one of the catering companies, and that was a weird times. And the Czech Republic is so different to UK in this one. There, even when you have a title from university, it doesn't mean that you will get well-paid job. And funny enough, the work behind the bar, there was some kind of aura, some kind of magic in Prague, especially. The bartenders, there was some kind of like a superstar, like a movie star almost. Yeah, or at least I felt it like that. So so there was one turning point that I realized because my mom is a teacher. She has a 2 university done. She teach economic and marketing. So she's super well educated, and she was taking, well, how much? Just about £900 a month, let's say. And I started with my part-time job in the hospitality, and I was getting £1,500 a month. So, and I was still studying the uni, so I was like, this just doesn't work. It just doesn't make sense. And of course I knew that if I would finish that uni, I wouldn't make as much money as I do now. So I just quit uni. Yes, I quit uni. And I went to work. I had no experience in the hospitality whatsoever, or just from this catering company. So I quit that as well, and I tried to find my first job. So I started as a waiter in the new project on the Staroměstský Square, Old Town Square in Czech Republic. It was Fragula project. That's where is James Dean, or you might know the Black Angels, or it's literally in the middle of Prague. Amazing location. So it was like mega project of Russian owners, so lots of money in it, and really expensive furniture and great food and a mix of everything. So that was my first job, and I was running on that floor without any experience, and all that really good bartenders and waiters, they were giving me such a hard time. Believe or not, in Czech Republic, it's not that someone take you by your hand and give you like lots of textbooks or what you need to learn and specs and all these kind of things. No, they just, there is your table, you waiting that table. If you mess it up something, it's your problem. You won't have the money. That's it. So kind of like tough love, I would say. And and it was following me all my life until I came to London.
Well, you had already developed such a good work ethic because of your sports days.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
you already developed that. There's no way to teach that at university. I mean, you already had these fantastic skills.
Yeah, I was really competitive, and since very very young age, and I always wanted to be the best. Plus, because we were celebrating quite often, because I won some things with the swimming. We were going a lot in the restaurants for a dinner, and my mom always taught me all the etiquette and to help women with a coat and who is sitting first and all these kind of things. And I kind of found myself in that, and I really liked it because just the amazed people around when they saw 12-year-old guy to help his mom with a coat and everything. So I think that was a base for my future for hospitality. So I had
Absolutely.
so and I found it like really great and something amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so you were being a waiter. Did you always think I'm going to get behind that bar?
Not at all, not at all. I started as a waiter and I just took it how it is. So um, I always started on the lowest point, on the lowest position, and my strategy, because as I mentioned, I'm a little bit shy. Oh, no, I am shy, and I'm really stubborn. Uh, you
And
know,
competitive. And competitive.
and competitive. Yeah,
Right.
that kind of weird combination, right? So I always pick the best person, and profession what I did or on the position. So I picked the head waiter, and I was literally just following him and observing everything what he does until I learned it. Um, and once I learned that, uh, I just did, and I just picked someone else, and we're just climbing this way up. So I wasn't the person who comes to someone and asks, because in that time, no one would really tell you, when you work, and no one is, taking care of you really in Prague. So I was literally just observing and learning by working every single day as hard as possible. And where I had no skills or knowledge, I was working even harder, and that gave me like some work ethic, just to work on the maximum. I always gave to everything what I do like 110%. And sometimes I had a trouble that people around were not the same. So that's where we had some clashes and this kind of thing.
You would think that your bosses would say, "Oh, well, we're gonna, we want the guy who's working the hardest." You know.
Yeah, in that time, I literally started with hospitality. So, I was like a headless chicken running around. Yeah, let's just be honest. And so, it took time to develop some skills. So then I finished in this restaurant, and then I went to work for my friend on one of the lakes in Czech Republic. It was like a beach bar. It was amazing, and he was amazing bartender. We were studying together on the high school, and he was a big example for me. Now he's the owner of few bars in Prague as well. Um, so yeah, it was big motivation for myself. So I learned a lot from him on this beach bar.
Was
Uh,
that
where,
was that was that the first time you had
where,
been
where-
behind the bar?
exactly.
Hmm.
So it was literally just four friends who saved some like little money and hired like little bar on one of the lakes in Czech Republic. So I spent one summer there. It was crazy. It was just party, like I was young and everything. That was awesome. Just beach, sun, in Czech Republic. So it's something that is not really happening in the Central Europe. But after that summer, I needed some work for winter or like for another season. So I got recommended to few bars. So I was working in the Sasazu, which is biggest club in Czech Republic. So I was working there, So there was always four deep on the bar and mojitos, Cuba Libre all the time, spirit mixers. And then again, competitive Thomas. I always wanted to be the best. I wanted to do the best sales and everything. With this period of my life, it's when you are on these parties and you're working in the team of so many bartenders, because I had no teenage time. I start like to be a rebel a little bit, so I start drinking a bit. I start drinking a lot. We finish the shift three o'clock in the morning, and then we continue till 7, starting at 1 again. So it was kind of like crazy period of my life, and it went down the drain. All my dreams and everything. Basically, I wasn't really thinking about the future. I was just living the moment, and forgot about everything else. Just long story short, in this period, I almost end up on the street.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But then I was just lucky enough that I had a friend who owed me some money, and she just called me, and because she promised me if I would go really down that she would help me or something. So she just asked me to go for a coffee, and I was asking, "Oh, do you have that money? I would like to go for a party." And it's like, "Yeah, I got the money." And she asked me, "Oh, do you still have the friends who you mentioned, and in the UK or in the London?" I was like, "Yeah, I got plenty of friends and everything." And she was like, "Oh, that's great." So she just grabbed my hand, take me to the first travel agency, and instead of giving me the money back, she bought me one-way ticket to London.
No way.
And I was leaving in 1 week. So basically, almost from the street, I was leaving to London. So I tried to gather some money. So my family helped me. My grandmother helped me a lot, and and I sit on the plane without knowing anything. I had 300 pounds in my pocket, and I had 2 phone numbers in the second pocket, and I showed up in London, and I had no idea where I am, what I'm gonna do, and everything. So, and that starts London.
So, but you went with it, it was super courageous of you to get on that plane. You could have said to her, screw you, I'm going back to my partying, who are you to tell me what to do? And for you to do that it takes a lot of courage. I give you credit.
To be honest, I had no chance, that was bad.
Did you even speak English?
I was lucky enough that my father was all about the swimming, and my mother was all about cooking and a home, and she pushed me to school. So I was getting even some private lessons back in the day.
All right. So at least could you imagine? At least you spoke English. So obviously, well, not obviously, you called one of those 2 numbers?
Yeah. So one of the numbers actually found me accommodation, so I had somewhere to sleep. Even when I was sleeping for 3 months with someone in the bed, still somewhere to sleep. And then the second one, funny enough, it was a person who I worked in that catering company in my first ever part-time job. So she gave me a job literally 3 days after I started. Even the second day when I arrived, I went to the agency, and the second day I work as a waiter or as a runner in the maze for Gordon Ramsay.
Oh boy.
So so that
Right
was
in there.
so that was like roller coaster like crazy. I just show up in London and like without knowing, still kind of hangover from Prague, and and then I'm in maze and serving people like in this amazing restaurant. So it was like wake up call. But then I took that the job from my friend. I started in Banana Tree in Soho. I was polishing cutlery for one month. So again, back to the roots. So what I learned in Czech, there was nothing, because I had no connections here. I didn't make really good impression for bar scene in Prague, so I had no help from Prague whatsoever. And I start here from zero.
Did you do your plan of following the best waiter? Did you do that again and learn
Definitely,
exactly what? Yeah.
definitely, yeah. I spent, as I said, like first month just polishing cutlery in the back, kind of getting out of everything what happened in Czech. Just realize, okay, now you are here. You just need to work hard. So I just put my shades on. No, like not shades, but like I block my vision and just focus on the work what I do, and then after 1 month I start progressing again, and got behind the bar, because my friend knew that I was working behind the bar. So when I learned the specs and everything, I moved behind the bar, and then I was running on the floor and behind the bar, and become really really important part of the team.
Mm-hmm. And did you? I mean, you worked at Banana Tree. Was that similar at all to the bars that you had worked in Prague? I mean, the people who
Yeah.
were ordering drinks, the kind of drinks you were making, or did you find it completely different from what you had before?
The hospitality in Czech and in Slovakia is on pretty high level. Um, so there's lots of like really educated people about this industry, and so there wasn't really big difference in that cocktails or in that drinks. Still, it's Banana Tree, so it's a restaurant. Um, so yeah, it wasn't big difference, but the people and the amount of people and all that London, it was lots of to take. But I think that that's for everyone who arrived to London, like for first time or come to work. So yeah, I was absolutely regular scenario, like everyone hell who comes here. So just like come here, work hard, make your future better. Um, then in this one, the thing that's always when I get on the same level like the best person, uh, I I kind of start feel that I have nowhere to go. So once I reach the ceiling, I have kind of trouble to just maintain that, because I just want more and I have nowhere to go. So that was usually the time when I become really arrogant. Sorry to say that, but I will say that I was like
I love your
really,
honesty.
I was arrogant prick, and just like, yeah, I'm the best and everything, and and it followed me for a few of my jobs, and but it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot, like no doubt. So I left Banana Tree, then I went to Las Iguanas um, on uh, wow, on Waterloo, South
Down the
Bank.
South Bank.
South
Yeah.
Bank. Yeah. So just cut it short. Super busy environment. 4 deep, happy hour 24/7. Basically, I'm saying
I
they
know
have.
I've been there
Yeah.
many times.
I'm saying that they actually have a set hours, so they just have because they have everything to 2 for 1, like all day long, almost 7 days a week. Just on Friday and Saturday there is like 4 hours slot of that there is one drink for one. So I was saying that's sad hours. So there I again, I developed my speed, my communication skills with the people, and again from dispense and polishing glasses, I made all the way up. I did some of that Las Iguanas College or training sessions. I excel in this, and again, when I was on the top, I'm start doing a mess. So I was always so stubborn, that I was, because I was always doing everything 110%, and I always did everything for a reason. I never did that just someone told me that it's like this. I always learned that way, but then I find better way, which made more sense in order of things. So I start following my ways, and that or usually crash with the management. So Las Iguanas was gone, and then it happened. Then I already made few friends here in London, and I got to Ceviche in Old Street, and that was a breaking point in my career. That's where it all started. So until now, I was just this party bartender, uh, egoistic person who just thought that is the best and everything. But when I got to the Ceviche Old Street, I was just lucky enough that I met amazing people there.
Mm-hmm. And what was it about it that changed? Was it that you weren't just cranking out a billion margaritas? This was a place that really spent a lot of time creating their cocktails?
No, you mean in Ceviche?
Yeah, from the difference. You said that's where it changed. What was it that changed?
I think that the change was that in the previous places I reach the ceiling really quick,
Mm-hmm.
and I had nothing to learn there, so I kind of stuck. But in Ceviche, I was lucky enough that in that time there was Miguel Arbe as a bar director, so and he is amazing. He just knows so much and everything. And also Ceviche is known that they're working only with a pisco, or in that time they had only pisco, and that was something what I had no clue about. So that was completely something new. I had a person who was the biggest expert for pisco in the UK, or one of the top people for pisco on the world. Um, and I had lots of to learn from. And in the same time, my head bartender Jakub Schwartz, he is Czech as well, and he is amazing flair bartender and amazing bar manager as well in that time, or like bar manager. He was more like bar manager but slash head bartender. So that was something new. So I had like two people to look up and learn as much as possible. Plus, before there was always just really easy cocktails, just do it on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
But in Ceviche, there was I had to learn lots of new techniques, because we were serving only pisco, but we wanted to be open to the wider public. So we were actually recreating impostors, or we were recreating the well-known spirits by infusing the pisco. So we actually made a pisco which tastes like a gin, which was easy. You just add the botanicals in the gin and that's it. But then it gets really interesting when you had to replicate tequila, or that was amazing. Like the recipe was incredible, like burnt artichokes, aloe vera. That's kind of thing which that was like such an eye opener, and something what I never think of. Same with the rum, everything what went in, the sugar cane, you still just took the base pisco and transfer it in the regular spirit, and the taste was actually really close. And that's I found it like really, really special, something that not many people know how to do, and I really found myself.
Yeah, but yeah, it sounds like it. And so did you think, all right, this is different one that I thought it would be. This is a different career choice now?
Yeah, definitely. There was finally a job where I was really proud that I'm working there, that I'm part of the family. I was mainly because I have something to offer. Even in the kitchen, in that time, Vito Reyes, he is now head chef in Amazonico. He was working with me just behind the corner. We had a kitchen connected to the bar. I was literally just on the bar. So because I was really close to cooking from my mom and everything. I was really close to cooking and desserts. So I got lots of inspiration in that flavors. And the Peruvian food is full of colors and full of textures, which is, well, like big thing for me now, or in my signature style. So that's why as well. And even we had like the food bar service. So it was amazing to get all the knowledge about the different chilies and different potatoes and how to use the starch and all these kind of things, making syrups, um, making macerados or infusions, making cordials, lots of techniques which I never needed before, because that was all just commercial, just like boom,
Right.
boom, just work.
Yeah, those other places are quite crank them out for the
Yeah.
partiers, Now, so what led you to then move on to Duck and Waffle?
Um. Yeah. That was that was the time when they dropped that idea of serving only pisco in ceviche. And we found it as a bartenders little bit like a dagger in our back, because we were super proud of that products and all that effort what we were putting in, and all that love, all that cariño, how you were saying, siempre con cariño. It was it was a way. We just had a whiskey, rum, and the gin on the shelf. We had one bottle of each still, but but the concept kind of went down, and and again I was just a regular bartender again. You know, Even we had like in-house competitions. I was lucky enough that I won two. We made some amazing drinks. I helped Jakub to create the whole menu for a ceviche. So that was already starting with this mixology and applying all the techniques which I learned there, which was amazing. Again, another chapter. Yeah, from just making mojito all over again. It just happened that I was creating the menu. So learning from Miguel how to put the menu together, that you need to have different glassware, that you need to have different type of drinks, that you need to include all types of alcohol in that. Different flavor profile, because you need to hit as big, as big amount of people, like their flavors, as many as possible. You need to have always drink for everyone. So that gave me like lots of knowledge about like how to create, how to put the things together. So thanks for that. And but then it's Miguel left. Uh Jakub still was there, but again, I got kind of, I can't say that I equal him, because I will never say that, because I have big respect for this guy. But
You
I
were
got
on to the next thing to learn something new.
exactly,
Yes.
and
Well,
and
and
I
what a
just
place, Duck
and
and
I
Waffle.
and I just felt that I need to that bar scene to get a little bit more serious, I just can't work in this restaurants, because there is no way to be a bigger when you're just working in the restaurants. Even to be honest, I prefer to work in the restaurant bar, because there is the food included, and I'm it's my hobby to cook and everything. So I love food. So yeah, so I apply for Duck and Waffle, and yeah, that was big. I remember I went there for interview. I had to borrow the tie. I borrow waistcoats. I went there for interview, and yeah, they had a chat. They asked me for things. Well, I was a little bit suspicious because that was like really quick interview, and then I went home. And the second day, they text me, okay, congratulations, you are hired. And I was like, okay, that was easy. Yeah, that was a big mistake to think that. I think that was the easiest part to get in there. So Duck and Waffle, again, I was lucky enough after Ceviche, second luck in my career, that I was working with amazing bartenders there. I was working with Massimiliano Terile, with Philip Stříbrný, amazing bartenders, and we were all working in that amazing place, and all was guided with the rich woods, and yeah, there was something massive, right? And then when you get to Duck and Waffle, you just it's completely different thing. You have the bar, which is in the middle of the room, and there is just one bartender serving this crazy amount of people. I'm just like, how is that possible? And then you have the bartender, because every single person who's working there is a bartender on the bar in Duck and Waffle, even when they're serving. I found it like really crazy on the beginning, but then I simply fall in love with it. It's just such a obvious thing to do, just to let bartenders to wait tables, because all that knowledge and all the passion for drinks, with all the respect, like for all waiters and everything, in my opinion, not everyone, obviously, not everyone, but still bartenders will have closer to the spirits and to the cocktails than the waiters. Mm-hmm. So I found it like, yeah, it makes sense. So there was that nice rotation of you are working 6 days, like 5 days, or 4 days as a waiter and 1 day as a bartender. There was lots of training, and again, a little bit of tough love. I went there and I was like, oh, I don't know the spirit, or I don't know this classic cocktail. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? And again, it was like, mate, like you were hired because we are expecting that you know all these things. Ooh. So just have a look in the books and learn. So
just shut up and learn. Yeah, pretty much.
Shut up and work. Yeah. So again, like crazy time, from that kind of star in Ceviche, when everything went smooth. We were busy for 3-4 hours, like crazy busy in Ceviche. But to go to Duck and Waffle, where you come to work, and you stop when you go for a break, which you spend in the lift, because it's 40 floors, right? So the staff lounge is on 6th floor, so and the lift stopping almost on every single second floor. So you basically you have half an hour break and you spend 20 minutes of that in the lift. So sometimes I just sit upstairs on the stairs, had a coffee, and straight again. So it was really tough time, and it's just.
And of course, it was a haven for cocktails, so people are going there expecting,
yes.
the best.
Exactly. Yeah, that was okay in this way, like we had partially pre-mixed stuff and infused everything. So, but still, the service we didn't have a speed pourers because there was kind of trademark that we were not using speed pourers. We were trying to be as good bartenders as possible. So every single bottle was on the screw or on the on the cork. So that was without a speed pourer. So it was kind of skill to manage everything. Plus the bar. I'm small. I'm 6'7". No, 5'7". I'm 5'7". And the bar was made for Rich and for Max. And they are super tall. So for me, when I needed to reach ice, and we talking about ice, that's where you're going 2,000 times a night. I was on my toes. I was on my toes all night long. So my legs are, they were getting funny. So
your calf muscles were huge.
yeah, big time. It's just like this is unproportional. The drinks, they were great. Again, I learned a lot, and I took a lot from that, and again, it helped me a lot to define my style and my signature like way of doing drinks. I think that from that time I learned a lot just to simplify the drink, simplify the garnish, go crazy on ingredients, use whatever you have, sustainability. Until then, I didn't hear much about the sustainability. So again, big school. But then there was one factor which I didn't like, and that was that it's such a big company that no one really asking for your opinion, and you are just a number which just clock in and clock out. And because I always wanted to be the best in something, no matter what it was. I just wanted to be the best. It wasn't good for me. I made amazing connections there, amazing friends. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how the big company runs and what everything needs to be done to make it run so smoothly. So in this way, this company is amazing. It has 500 employees in one building or 300, and and it runs like super smooth. No one would spot it, that it's such a big operation because it's connected to the sushi samba, right? So that's massive, and you just need to follow some rules and to make it happen. So I kind of understand that, but it just wasn't for me.
But now you make your own rules, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. So you finally got in the place where you make your own rules. So tell me about 12 Hay Hill.
So just before we start with the 12 Hay Hill, I forgot to mention, I was thinking about it all the time, but then I forgot, obviously. When I was in the ceviche, I met this amazing person who was coming there to see Jakub. And there was Veronika Karlova. It's a person who is behind Girls Drink Vodka. Amazing Instagram. Really focusing on the vodkas. And she has amazing knowledge and everything. And she really liked our service in the ceviche. And she asked me once if I would like to help her as a sales rep for vodka. So that was again the part in the ceviche, and it was really important. And I said yes, yeah, definitely yes. So I started helping her. We had a launch for Goral vodka in a Gibson, and again eye opener, and I started meeting these amazing people. Marianne Becker. We were going to Artesian. That's where I had my interview with her, actually, in Artesian for first time. then we had a meeting in Savoy, in American bar. So again, from such a racket from from busy bars with no thinking to this kind of world. And I start recognizing these people who I like ever heard of them, but I never thought that I could get close to them or get even like somewhere close to or even talk to them. They were such a heroes or such a gods for me in that time. There was something unthinkable. But now I was in their bars having the drinks. So there was a big thing. I met amazing people on the vodka judging competition, which I took part of, and that's if someone thinks that it's fun to do vodka judging, or any spirit judging, no way. I just just the prep. You will get 80 samples of vodka as a homework to taste, and then on the day you have 50 vodkas, and you need to judge the flavor and everything on nose, flavor, palate, um, finish. So you need to really like taste them. Obviously, me as a bartender, I was like, I will never spit, right? So, you know, uh, when you have 50 vodkas before lunch, it's kind of tough. I had amazing mentor. Next to Veronica, I met Karol. He is a bar manager in Baltic, and he has one of the best palates. I know. He was able to recognize every vodka by the base ingredients. That's impossible. That's just amazing. That's spectacular. So I learned a lot from them. Yeah, just this part didn't end up well because I'm not really, again, shy person. I wasn't really about to go around the bars and uh, offering the products, because I'm just not that kind of person. It wasn't for me, but all that connections and what I learned about the vodka, and still must say that that's my biggest thing is vodka. Our biggest passion is vodka. Um, I learned a lot with that, and that was awesome. That was amazing part. That belongs between the ceviche and duck and waffle. That was all in the same time. So that was kind of rich. Um, and then we got to 12A Hill. I was working in duck and waffle, and I got message from my previous or former GM from Ceviche, um, Simon Klepetek, and he asked me if I could come to visit him. That he has something to ask me, and I went there, and I couldn't find it. I was second time. I was second time in the Mayfair. I was walking around that, and it's like I can't find it. Where is it? It's kind of fun because it's the biggest, one of the biggest building on the Berkeley Square, but it's just so big that no one would think that that's where you go actually, right? It's like that's such a palace and amazing building that no one really wants to go there. And even the delivery guys now, they see that address, they see that there, and they are worried to go there because it's like such an amazing place. So I went there, asked for Simon on the reception. He come to pick me up, and it's like, look, we're doing this for our members. Like we would like to do some master classes, and you are a really good bartender. So just think of it, what you could do. I could give you like once a month, like a master class here. I was like, okay, I'll let it go. Still working in a duck and waffle. Then the next week he called me. Oh, we're having this amazing event. That was the brief, and I would need someone who can who can supervise my bartenders, because our bartenders are not on that level which I would need, and I don't have a time to be on the top of them. So I need someone who I can trust, who could do that for me. I was like, yeah. He offered me amazing money, so I went there for one day. Yeah, that was a big mess on the bar, and we managed that. That was amazing. Even that was the brief, really important. Even in 12A Hill till now, um, you know, follow with Financial Times and everything. So big and important event, and I did great. I did really well, and he was really happy. He was a GM or F&B director, and the GM was really happy, everyone really liked me. How I just took it in my hands, and just even when I was there for first time, I just executed this really important event. So then another week, I came for that meeting, talk about that things, and he had that meeting. I told him my ideas and everything, and then he finished the interview, and he was, we are so busy, and that's crazy. We have not enough people. And I'm saying, like, if you don't have enough people, like, why don't you hire me as a bar manager? So I just tried it, to be honest, like, I think that I had that skills to be a head bartender in the previous places, but I never got the actual position of head bartender. So I can I was head bartender in the ceviche, but so I kind of jumped this position, and he was like, I talked with our boss, and we'll see. So I was just like, fingers crossed, that would be amazing. Yeah, he called me in another week, and I was like, yeah, man, we go for that. So you're gonna be a bar manager here. And I was just, wow, that was big moment. That was amazing. I was just like, this building, middle of Mayfair, that will be awesome. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And what is it different that you're doing there? I mean, it's a much smaller crowd. It's a private club.
Yeah,
And I guess
yeah,
you have control of everything, right?
yeah, yes, that's amazing. Yeah, but let's start from the beginning in the 12 a.m. And when I thought that will be everything done, everything will be set, and everything will be amazing. I got there. I was there a few times before I had a coffee. But the bar looks amazing when you're sitting there, right? But then you go behind the bar and you see that you take a bigger look. It wasn't in really good shape, and I'm really positive on this one. Uh, and then I started from zero, and I was just lucky enough that everyone was so busy with everyone else, and it's private members club which is focused on the business. So it's not the best place for a bar, right? Because everyone is coming there to make money, not to spend money. Uh, yeah, I had to work with it. I had this position. I wanted to do my best, and I went for it. I redid completely the whole bar. Um, every single shelf organized. Everything tidy, like from the bottom. It was like complete like changeover. It was even when you start a new bar. If I think that would be maybe easier than to redo everything. Because you're expecting that you have some things, but you don't actually, or they are somewhere where you have no idea where. The menu that wasn't good. The spirit selection, there wasn't much work in it as well. So yeah, I started from really zero, but now they had a bar manager there, so they were like, okay, there's not so many people, we have a bar manager who's getting paid for that, so we can take all the bartenders and all the stuff from the bar, work somewhere else, and bar manager can be there and basically do everything. So for the first 3 months I was there alone. So I was from open to close, serving on the floor, opening the bar, um, prepare all the preps and everything, executing the menu, serving on the table, making drinks myself, coffees and everything. So that was about 12 hours of shift. And after that, I had 3 hours to do my management shift. So, so I had 15-hour shift every single day for 3 months. So that was crazy. I was expecting that will be Pete, walk in paradise, and not at all. Like so from zero. And again, I wanted to, I always wanted to reach the best people in the building, but in that time there was only me there, right? So only one person who I could fight with, or like who I could compete with, was myself. So it went a bit crazy. It's just like I spent so much time there, working on, and then I wanted to change so many things in the same time, uh, and then it got to that. I started there in March 2018, and then in June we did the Peter Spanton competition where we met, actually, if you remember.
Yes, of course. That's
Um,
why we're here.
Yay. So again, so in all this pressure and everything, I was doing this competition, which happened that luckily we won. um, and since then it went just up. It was amazing. um, I finished the big change. um, on my first menu change, I swapped 115 bottles, like 115 spirits, not bottles, literally spirit brands. So I redid completely everything. New suppliers, um, new spirit supplier, new wine supplier, new 115 spirits on the bar. So there was completely new menu of 10 cocktails. So yeah, that was massive. That was big. And um and and then and then it's it was just better and better and better. It was amazing. I'm learning a lot, um and every single day. And now it's 1 year when we got new management, with new GM, with new restaurant manager. um we managed to release the third menu already, third cocktail menu, which is awesome. It's back to the roots. Pretty classic team. Uh, we have six cocktails of back to the roots, which are Twist cocktails before 1950, um, uh, using at least one root ingredients, root related ingredients. We are in the -1, so we are like a roots of the building as well. Um, and I was inspiring my team to learn more about the roots of bartending and the mixology. So that's why we went in the before 1950, so they could learn something about it. Uh, Amazing. Plus 6 best of cocktails. Uh,
Well, and
yeah,
also in the meantime, you are brand ambassador for the Wrecking Coast Distillery.
yeah. That's. I was saying it's a roller coaster, but it just seems it's going up and up and up, right? Yeah. That was just after
The roller coaster was in the past. Now it's just
yes,
straight up, the M4.
it is,
Well, tell
and
me a little bit about that.
so that was literally um, just after the Peter Spanton competition, and Craig, um, the co-owner of Wrecking Coast Distillery, he came to me and he showed me this square bottles with a nice art on the front, telling me something about the clotted cream gin. I was just like, that's crazy. Like, who can drink clotted cream gin? It's like, I was a little bit tired after that competition, right? Because we won, so we went to celebrate. I was really tired, and then Craig poor Craig. I don't know if he knows about it. Sorry, Craig. Um, um, and he came to me and was showing me everything, and I was like, I wasn't really excited about it. And he pulled out this bottle which had no label. I was just with a marker written some numbers, and I tasted, and it's like, wow, that's great. And it was the Scurvy Navy Strength gin, and he was just like, oh, Thomas, would you be able to make some perfect serve for this gin? I was like, yeah, it's no problem, right? I had no idea, right? Absolutely not. But bartender behind the bar, like, we have that, our zone where we are overconfident and everything is possible. So I just went blind to the fridge. I say, okay, it's a scurvy grass. It's Navy strength, so it's strong. Okay, so let's try this Peter Spanton lemongrass and ginger tonic. So the lemongrass will go together with the scurvy grass, and the kick of the alcohol will go really well with the ginger. Because we had lemongrass on the menu, I just julienne the lemongrass and julienne the ginger, serve it in the large whiskey glass full of ice, serving 100 ml of Peter Spanton lemongrass and ginger as a first, and then the 50 ml of the 57 ABV Navy Strength Scurvy gin on the top, without stirring. Because that's what I learned in Duck and Waffle. It's just bit physics. Soda goes up, the bubble goes up, and the heavy spirits go down. It's kind of mix itself. Plus, I had this julienne, lemongrass, and ginger. I just stuck it in the middle. Give little stir, just with the garnish. Just serve it in front of him, and he was just like, "Bam! That's amazing! That's amazing!" And I was like, "Really?" So I tasted, and I was like, taste it myself. And it was great. It was just, it just out, this automatism just made it happen. Um, and um, and he came back again, and we were tasting more, and we started much more after that. He invited us to the distillery, which was awesome. The Tintagel, that's such a magical place. Um, all the tales about the Merlin and King Arthur and Lancelot, Excalibur. I just like that. I spent all my childhood on that, and then from nowhere, I was just there. I saw that Merlin's cave, and I was like, I have a goosebumps here now. That was amazing. This amazing nature. We were lucky it was sunny. It was really very windy, but it was magical, and they are so honest people, and I love them to the bit. They took me as a part family. Um, when we went there for a visit, I met Avian, our master distiller, who is just, yeah, oh my god, I love to have his knowledge about everything, and the passion is it's remarkable. And yeah, and then we become a friends, and then one day Craig came to me and put a bottle of the Scurvy gin in front of me, and I was like, yeah, that's amazing. Can that's present for you? And I look at it, I turn it on the back, and there was label of it with two of my pictures with the recipe of that syrup which I did for them. So they made me like my own label. I was like, oh my god, I made it. I just like, I'm on the bottle of alcohol. It's just, how amazing is that? Um, and then it followed with an offer to be a brand ambassador for them. I strictly told them I can't be sales rep. I'm not good at it. I was really honest. look, I have my job here in 12 Hay Hill, which I love, and I'm not willing to lose it, because I have my plans with 12 Hay Hill, which getting really, really close. And he was like, like, we want you just for one day a week, just to share a love about the spirit. Have you tasted Wrecking Coast? I'm sure you did.
No, I haven't.
Susan.
And so I think I have to join you at 12 Hay Hill.
Oh, that would be
some.
amazing.
All
you
right.
must come. You must come to 12 Hay Hill. Please do so.
All right. And yes, and I can't wait. So should we meet then the next time?
Yes, please. Always welcome. And everyone is welcome, even as private members club. Please hit me on social medias. They will be definitely somewhere around. Just send me message, send me text, and I'm pretty sure that we find a way how to get you on the bar. And
that is such a nice offer. So listen, thank you so much for telling me your tale.
Thank you very much. That was amazing. Thank you, Susan.
What a story. And I would definitely take advantage of his generous offer to get you into 12 Hay Hill. Thanks so much to Tomáš for being on the show. For our cocktail of the week, we zoom from Mayfair to Cornwall, back to Mayfair again, with one of Tomáš's creations. Our cocktail of the week is what Tomáš calls the Cornish Highball, with Wrecking Coast Scurvy Gin and Soda, plus a few little touches to distinguish itself. It's super easy to make once you have all the right ingredients. All you do is add the following to a highball glass filled with ice: 40 ml of Wrecking Coast Distillery Curvy Gin, 10 ml of green chartreuse, 25 ml of lime juice, 20 ml of William Fox Oak Moss Syrup, and then 100 ml of London Essence Soda. Then, take your gorgeous bar spoon and stir gently. Then drink. You can find this recipe, more recipes, and all the cocktails of the week at lushlifemanual.com, where you'll find links to all the ingredients in the cocktail. I heard today that Arrigo Cipriani is considering not opening Harry's Bar in Venice ever again. He compares the conditions that the Italian government is imposing during COVID to the rules of a concentration camp. I'm not going into how preposterous that statement is, but the idea that there could be Venice without Harry's Bar, that would make me very sad. Why am I so attached to this one bar? Well, you have to read my post on lushlifemanual.com. If you live for Lush Life, make sure you're giving back to the bars you love by donating or taking part in cocktail delivery where you live. Theme music for Lush Life is by Steven Shapiro and used with permission. And Lush Life is always and will be forever produced by Evo Terra and Simpler Media Productions. Which leaves me to say the wise words of Oscar Wilde: all things in moderation, including moderation. And always drink responsibly and wash your hands and stay safe. Wow. I heard our next guest speak on the Booze Brain, and I had to have her on my show. There is almost nothing she hasn't done. In fact, she's done so much that Diageo created a role pretty much with her name on it. I think it's going to have to be a two-parter. Until that time, bottoms up.